Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining Candid Meena every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. Thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button and share it with your friends and spread the message. Our mission is to only bring you the truth and both sides of the story. I'm just waiting for Saffron to join us. There was a small problem with the audio. Yeah, so he's just joining me now. Welcome, Saffron.
Namaskar,
Always,
ma'am, and I'm
always nice to
glad to
see.
be here. Can you hear me
Always,
well?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Always nice to see you.
Likewise, ma'am, the feelings are
Yeah,
mutual. And
yeah,
today, just because of the technical glitches we were experiencing earlier, I am joining from my phone. So pardon
yeah,
me if I received an unintended call.
yeah,
I might join again.
yeah. Okay. So let's start with the first piece of news, Saffron. I don't know whether you've been following what has been happening in the last few days. After following both the deaths, a BJP leader from Maharashtra and Union Minister, Narayan Rane and son Nitish Rane, alleged that the late actor Sushant Singh's former manager had not committed suicide, but she was raped and murdered. Speaking at a press conference, Rani had alleged that Disha's autopsy report reveals that she had injury marks on her private parts. He had accused Mumbai police of trying to scuttle the injury. Now, Rani said he had a pen drive in his possession and had prepared a transcript of an eyewitness account of Disha Salyan's alleged murder, stating that a state minister is involved in the case. Now, Nisha Rani had also alleged that Sushant Singh had learnt about the rape and subsequent murder of Disha Salyan and decided to reveal it in front of the media, which is when even he was killed. Now, again, despite the revelation made by CBI, Narayan Rade has stood by his statement. He tweeted on November 23, I don't blame the CBI for its observations in Disha Salyan's case. CBI entered only after 72 days. From 8th June, the cleanup was done so well with the help of MBA government that by the time the CBI entered, nothing much could be recovered. Master of all cover ups. Now, here in the midst of all this, Saffron, what happened was that Samit Thakkar, a BJP, Karyakarta, he, just as if, casually slipping in a tweet, he slipped in a tweet saying that CBI has closed the Disha Salyan case. Now, we questioned him on what basis did he do it, but since there was no official, announcement from CBI. So, could he tell us the source? And we also copied Prime Minister and Amit Shah. So immediately, I think he was pulled up, and he gave an apology, saying that he didn't mean it that way, and he thought it was fake. It's fake news. He saw Economic Times, and that's how he came to this conclusion. And then he said that since Devendra Fadnavis is handling the case because they are the government now, he should be looking into it. So he was also again trying to say that please look into the SSR case. Now similarly, Priyanka Chaturvedi, the spokesperson for SS, said that these people Rane should apologize to Aditya Thackeray, because they have been, maligned in the process. Because this Disha Salyan's murder, it was not a murder, it was an accident. And that these people should be ashamed because they have given, and all the Shiv Sena people were saying that, he had undergone a lot of mental, turmoil because of this. And another Shiv Sena person said that he had known Aditya Thackeray from when he was a child and that he would never do such a thing. Now you see, this was a huge cover up. Samit did not expect us to expose it, and he thought that we would all just, not see it, and they thought that they would also try to find out the sentiment of the public, whether we had forgotten the Disha Salya. And this is what Shiv Sena also wants, because they want this to cover up the person who is behind it. Now, it's very funny that he was pulled up for it, and look at how things have turned. But also look at the callous manner in which this lady, Priyanka Chaturvedi, she has absolutely no idea. When the postmortem report of Disha Salyan came out, it very clearly said that she had injury marks after her vaginal swab was done, and she was either raped or assaulted or something. So this was there. We had seen it. Now that portion has been rubbed off, you know and now they're saying that it's only the fall thing, for the head, the injury for the head. But at the same time, they've said that they've given the vaginal scab for this thing. So when you say a vaginal scab or an anal scab, it means there has been some sort of sexual assault. Otherwise they wouldn't do it in a forensic lab. So this is all very clear. And then another question that we asked Priyanka was that, you mean to say that before she committed suicide, she took off all her clothes because the body was nude? So did that happen? And then the this this incident happened exactly one night before she attended a party of a top producer. What did she see there that she was so scared that she complained to the police, who never reached there, you know? And the next morning she was killed. Or, as you say, she committed suicide. Or, it was an accident. Now, see, why did the police not answer her? And another thing is, why did the police quickly close her case? See, so many things that they have hidden. Yo,
Okay, can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to begin with the thing that there this thing came that CBI has closed Disha Salyan's case as a suicide. First of all, the veracity of the news, right? Has there been any official statement made by CBI to begin with that this case has been
And
closed?
CBI has said through somebody else that they didn't even handle the case.
Right. So that is one thing, right? Because then there was another newspaper cutting that Nilesh Rane had shared where he said that CBI has denounced that news that they have closed Disha Salyan's case or they have not handled it. So first of all, there are different versions of news coming in, conflicting version, and that is exactly what has been happening throughout in the SSR case, right from the day SSR case got media coverage and we all came to know about it, right? Prior to that, nobody even knew, like very few people knew about Disha Salyan murders case. Let's all agree on that fact that, this case came into public domain due to SSR's investigation. Whether it was shoddy or not, that can be a conversation for another day. Secondly, too many cooks spoil the broth, right? I've been saying from day one that, who is holding accountability for a fair and square investigation? I would definitely, there can be instances where people like Samit Thakkar, for myriad of reasons, they may have just sneaked in a tweet to see the public sentiment
Yeah,
and to see
absolutely.
because remember his loyalty is tied towards RSS and certain factions in the I would say, in the government, who play on the both sides of the aisle. So BJP has got what they wanted. They have a party with a new Shiv Sena party, and the original Karta Dharta of the Shiv Sena party are out of the scene right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So हिंदी में एक कहावत है कि सांप भी मर जाए और लाठी भी ना टूटे, right?
Mm,
So
mm,
they have, they have achieved their purpose, right? So my thing is, there are people who have tried their best to cover it up,
mm,
right? But how many people are there on the other side with us who have tried to make sure that this case does not get sold out, or this case does not go to the rivers, right? And there are, I don't see anybody. Even Narayan Rane said that I don't blame CBI because in the 72 days all the evidences were washed out, right? So if he doesn't blame CBI, then how can he be so sure, right? He should keep a stand, right? He should question the CBI. The CBI is as much of a culprit here as these guys who are trying to cover it up. if you know that there is a huge public sentiment, right, behind this case, and the people want answer, shouldn't the CBI be? I understand the CBI is not under any obligation to share status update on the case, right? But at least to ensure that there is justice prevailing, right, and there is a fair and square investigation, shouldn't there be a statement from them that, like, okay, we are doing our work and it is in progress? If they cannot share any details, that's another thing. But can't they share that, like, okay, it is in progress? Can't there be? I mean, like, it's over 2 years now. You're not sharing even a single progress status update, right? It's not that like you don't owe us, but you at least owe it for humanitarian reasons. I mean, like, what kind of faith are we going to have it in agency? So this, जब जब लोग आपके ऊपर उंगली उठाते हैं, तो आपकी एक नैतिक जिम्मेदारी है कि आप बोलो कि नहीं, हम अपना काम बराबर से कर रहे हैं और ये देखो. How long are we going to wait? It's like we are entering into the third year, right,
mm, mm.
of these murders now. We have entered into the third year now, and there is a limit to everything. We cannot expect anything from the families, right? We know both Disha Salyan family and SSR family, how they are, like SSR
Yeah.
sisters, I should say, how they have handled the case. Now, even Narayan Rane and Shiv Sena, they are playing their separate game.
See, what I find
He's
surprising, yeah, Saffron, is that how come, this Aftab Shraddha case they have taken up so quickly, you know, and questioned the Maharashtra government, which at that time was under Uddhav Thackeray. So if they can take up Aftab and Shraddha case so fast, can't they also push the Sushant case, or are they waiting for some sort of election to come?
so two things here. Aftab and Shraddha case was picked up also because there is a different state government with the support of BJP alliance, like, so that
No,
is
no,
one
no,
thing.
no, no, no. See, she was killed in May.
Hmm.
At that time, it was still Uddhav Thackeray,
Agreed.
Mahavikas Aghadi. Yes.
Agreed, ma'am.
Ah,
Yeah, you
ah,
have a
ah.
fair point. But the
Yeah,
complaint was filed in November by
yeah.
the dad, right?
Mm,
So
mm.
Mumbai police did not,
No,
bring
no, no,
it,
no. Let me just tell you one small point. At that, in 2020,
right,
she made a complaint to the police, and that was ignored. And that is what Fadnavis has raised.
right, right. Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Mm,
We are not
mm,
saying that, like, there were complaints and it was ignored, right?
mm,
Similarly, what are you going to say about uh, ठीक है, उन्होंने जो किया वो किया, ठीक है, वो तो पता है हमें कैसे है, वी नो दैट दे आर वल्चर्स, राइट? बट नाउ, इसीलिए तो हमने आपको चुना है, राइट? नाउ यू आर इन पावर. Now what are you going to do to change it is
mm.
something that needs to be, like, looked into. When Fadnavis was not in power, right, he raised that Mansukh Hiren murder case also, right? He raised so much news about that, that the other thing, that gelatin and that
Yes.
Antilia
Yes.
case bomb, right?
Mm, mm,
At least, like, give some statement there, like, maybe, like, it could be possible that there might be a comment coming in
mm,
on those cases, but whether it was going to come or not, it's only to be seen. I have
mm,
a feeling that, like, too many people involving in this, and the CBI not taking accountability of it, is giving these people a chance to cover it up, right?
mm,
Because
mm,
if they see that, like, okay, people are not talking about it, people like Meena Das ji and other people who have been, like, constantly raising their voice, they are, like, ignoring it, or now they see that, like, they have lost hope, then those perpetrators have won, right? The political parties have gotten their power, the revenges have been taken, the dishes have been served as cold in a very skillful way, and now nobody cares because the financial transaction must have been exchanged, right? And then there is no incentive for anyone to bring justice, because justice लाके क्या करना है? Families, how they are acting, right?
mm,
It seems like, Disha Salyan's family doesn't want to talk about it at all. They are coming and supporting the perpetrators. I
mm,
mean, that's the height of shamelessness, right? That you are
mm.
seeing. How long are we going to give them this cover of like, oh, they must be pressurized from the perpetrators. अरे क्या
Hmm.
करना है, ऐसी जिंदगी जी के भी क्या करना है जहाँ पे तुम्हारे बच्चे को मार दिया है और तुमको जीना चाहते हो, right? Right? You should go in, like, with all hands on the deck, right? You should go in the whole 10 yards. You should not care about what's going to happen now, right? It's now or never. अभी तो
Hmm.
करो कम से कम. Now it's BJP government in power along with the new Shiv Sena. What are you
Hmm.
doing? You're just standing there saying that no, we don't want our girl to be defamed. Arey, who is defaming your girl? People are standing for the justice for your girl, yeah, which you are not doing. They are expecting you to at least support, but let alone support. You're not even, you are kind of condemning the efforts people like ourselves are taking to bring justice to their daughter. She would have been so ashamed to know. If she is watching, she would be so ashamed to see that her
Yeah.
own family is not fighting for her.
And what people are getting irritated with is, in this Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra, he's catching hands with Rashmi Desai, who is, one of the, a part of the cabal. So tomorrow you can expect even Riya Chakravarti to catch his hand and walk. So they are all being endorsed as good human beings.
Yeah, that I think that Bharat Jodo Yatra, it is like, it is a gimmick they have
Mm,
done to make sure that, like, there is some kind of impact in 2024 election,
mm,
right? And that's why it has been timed in a manner that, like, that when they are giving a look of Rahul Gandhi where it's like a leader kind of a look where he has grown his beard and he looks more traditional,
mm.
and unlike his flamboyant image, where he used to be clean shaven, going to the parties and all. I think the parties are still going on, but it's with a different look where he's, instead of roaming around with naked girls in the discotheques, it's like now people of low integrity, and these third graded actresses in public. And you see what kind of hate is being spewed. I mean, even when our leader is not saying about anything, right? I could understand that, like, there were times when, like, Narendra Modi ji said some things in a humorous way about Rahul Gandhi, but even when he's not saying anything, he gets unnecessarily targeted. So I think, yes, this Bharat Jodo Yatra is very, I would say, not a very futile, but it's a very strategic gimmick that has been put into place. And I know it sounds kind of an oxymoron, because there is some degree of success to it, but whether it is going to be enough to topple down BJP, I'd highly doubt so, because of their ideologies and their things that they have supported in past. They are the ones who are mocking the Indian army. They are the ones who are mocking everything that is against the Sanatan Dharma, right? So they are the ones who are mocking the temples, right? So let them do that, but I still feel that 2024 will be, BJP will come out in with flying colors.
Yeah. Now, disturbing details in the Shraddha Walker case are emerging one after the other. It has now been reported that the accused Aftab Amin Punawala used to use multiple weapons to dismember the body parts of his live-in partner, Shraddha Walker. Now, ANI is citing sources within the Delhi police that he had used multiple weapons to sever her dead body after murdering her in their rented flat on May 18th. Now, police have recovered 5 large knives, which have now been sent for forensic examination. The Delhi police recovered parts of the skull and some bones from a forest area last week and are currently undertaking searches at the Bhayandar Creek, where the accused may have disposed of vital evidence in the case. Aftab has recently undergone a polygraph test at the forensic science lab Rohini. The reports of the test are yet to be released. According to an FSL report, the polygraph examination is a non invasive technique used to reveal hidden information from criminals. He went on to say that the next step would be to access and discover the confined information in the narco test. These tests begin with obtaining consent from the subjects, followed by a pre test interview. Following the polygraph test, the subjects will undergo a medical examination, and the narco test will be administered after they receive a fitness certificate. So, here, see, as you see, it's a clear case of love jihad because this was very well planned And this was planned in 2020. In the letter that she complained to the police, where she went with a neighbor to the police, she has clearly said that he has threatened to cut her into pieces, kill her and cut her into pieces and throw them around. Now, she was being beaten up and abused, and she didn't want to live with him. Then the parents said, no, no, he is going to move out of your flat, so don't worry. So it is with this assurance that she continued. But then you see what she predicted actually happened. So how well it was planned. And the parents moved out of their house, which was, which they were living in for 35 years, just before 15 days or 20 days before the murder. So you see how they were all hand in glove. And there is no mainstream media is talking about the fact that he was a drug peddler.
Right. One thing I want to ask you, ma'am, was there was this news that came that her dad was not aware of the fact that she had moved to Delhi. Is that true, or was he aware?
He could have been aware because see he was getting bits of information from some friends, but perhaps after a long time, because he boy his see when he was questioned, he said that, see, my daughter is a brave girl, and I'm sure she'll get out of it. And he also knew that she was being beaten up.
See,
But
so
see, in this case, he would have locked the girl up, taken the mobile, and he was also withdrawing money from her bank account, for his luxuries, and keeping her like a slave. So she did not. She was alienated from her parents and her friends. So she hardly had anybody. So some of her WhatsApp chats before he took the phone was that he had beaten up her up so badly that she had a spinal injury, and she was admitted to a hospital with high fever. So, I think it is only because she could not escape. She was under so much duress that she did not escape. Otherwise, I'm sure any other girl would have run for her life.
yes, definitely sounds like she was in a dysfunctional family without any support from her
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's why maybe she was scared that something would happen to her. So she was complying with Aftab. And I don't believe this thing that Aftab said that, like, she was saying that I want to marry you, and that's why he decided to cut her. I think that is a piece of BS. I
yeah.
think there is a I believe in an opposite version where he was wanting to marry her and then convert her so that, like, he could keep her as his slave. And just goes to show
He
that,
was
like,
planning to. He was also planning to sell her in the market, in the Gulf.
exactly. So see, there you go.
Yeah,
So it's the perfect example of how somebody could treat a person, make them their slave, and then like, earn money on them by selling them in the flesh trade market. So
yeah.
this thing is quite evident, and again I have been constantly saying that uh, this uh, just trying for a better way to put this in front of you, Meena ji. बट आप आग में हाथ डालोगे तो
Mm,
आपका हाथ जलने
mm,
ही वाला है,
mm,
right? So
mm.
not doing any victim blaming here, but it is so important to be aware of it, right? It is so important to be aware. Every time we cannot say that, oh, like, there has been a trend on Twitter that my Aftab is not like this, right? You are
That
going
is
to
the
continue to see
that is the
this,
leftist
right?
theory because they don't want to say it is
Exactly.
a religious conversion. You know.
Right, right, right. So how long, how many, like, there have been also WhatsApp forwards where there have been at least, like, I have seen a WhatsApp clip where, like, at least 100 girls, I'm sure
Mm.
there are more than that. There have been like thousands and hundreds of thousands of girls who've been killed, acid attacked, and raped and tortured and
Oh, just
kidnapped.
recently in Rajasthan, in three villages, around
Hmm.
35 women, were missing. Apparently, they were auctioned and sold. And Rajasthan belongs to Congress. And Rahul Gandhi is doing Bharat Jodo. It looks like Bharat Todo is doing. And then in Kerala, six girls were missing from a home. Where do these girls land up?
I think
Now,
he's doing
Vinny
Bharat
is
Jodo
saying,
with Kabal.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Vinny is saying, ma'am, just second day, it's in the news. A big bag has been found with half the body of a female.
Oh God.
Mm. And the funny thing is, he has noted everything in his diary, which part he has thrown where. So, how calculated his murder was. See, there are many things in this, Saffron. They would have shown this whole thing live on Darknet. They would have made their cryptocurrencies. They would have also done some organ trade in between. So, there are so many things because the knives that they found were surgeons' knives, the people who do surgery. And it was all precision knives, okay? And then you also had surgeons' gloves. So, apparently, there were more people involved. It's not this guy alone. The whole thing was
Right.
very well premeditated, pre-planned.
It is a shame that we are tolerating these kind of ghastly acts in our country, and having people of this mentality, safeguarded in some ways or the other, right?
And
I think
the chief minister of Rajasthan is saying this is all a very common thing. It's not a love jihad. It is a marriage between two religions. People from two religions. He doesn't even know that this couple were not married. That is the IQ of the chief minister. So he's saying that BJP is trying to make a riot by saying it is a love jihad. They don't even have the brains to understand what's going on, or they're just trying to mislead the public, which is what the mainstream media is also doing.
the politicians are definitely going to try to gain either brownie points or play the blame game out of this, which is what
Yeah.
the Rajasthan chief minister is doing. And I would be interested in knowing that, how fast paced the investigation is, and does he get the death penalty or not.
Mm.
There was these leftist people are trying to bring out a similar case of Naina Sahani, I think, who was cut into pieces by her supposedly
Yeah.
Hindu
Yeah.
husband,
One
right?
weird case, yes.
Yeah. And they're
So
trying
that
to,
it's
and
Hindu.
that to happened when,
Mm,
in the 90s we are talking
mm,
about,
mm.
and they are trying to draw parallels with, hey, what would you call about this? So when it's related to a supposedly a Hindu guy, then it is communal. But then when it is related to a Muslim guy, then it is a one-off incident. So this thing is definitely causing a lot of friction, but there has to be something. See, we have to understand this thing. Uh, we we are too tolerant. We are too much tolerant. There has to be some degree of discipline in our tolerance as well. Unless we inculcate that, these things are going to happen. You see uh, why people like us cannot propagate about Sanatan Dharma in Islamic countries, because they put you in your place. They will kill you, they will rape you, or they will threaten you. They will put you in your place.
Yeah.
So they don't give an opportunity at all. I have a friend who lives in Kuwait who has been, a long time supporter in the SSR campaign. He said to me that you can't even pray to your gods in your own homes, let alone in public. If somebody complains that they saw a
You're
Hindu
in jail.
deity picture, yes, you're in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of laws the Islamic countries follow, these
Yeah.
theocratic nations.
Yeah.
How are
Yeah.
you going to? The other day I saw that there was a poster of a Saudi Arabian footballer, which was being I think it was kept in place on a very big billboard because
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia defeated some
Yeah.
nation,
It fell
and
down.
that was like in Kerala. Yeah, it was in Kerala.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on, right? I mean, do you have is there a dearth of superstars like sports persons in our country that you
No,
chose to?
anything other than India is good for them. They want to say they are like Saudi or they are like any other Gulf. They will also put their names as Sheikh because they don't want anything to be, attach them to India. It is
Then
that
why
sort
do
of
they want to live
mentality.
in India? I don't understand this thing. Why do they want to live in India? But then there is only one answer
Yeah,
for it, because Ghazwai Hind is there. motto of life.
Motive, yes, yeah,
They have been told to convert India into an Islamic caliphate, and they've been trying for so many years, several hundreds of years, thousands of years, I would say. They've been trying to do that, but they have not achieved their goal yet. Look at any other countries, all have been converted wherever they went, but
yeah,
not India. Despite our tolerance, despite our apathy, despite our so many incidents happening. The other day somebody was sharing on Twitter a clip where a person was hugely beaten in train first class
yes,
compartment because
yes,
the people were offering
yeah,
namaz and
line
he
there,
objected.
praying.
Yeah, yeah,
Because he
and he
wanted to
off
go to toilet.
exactly.
He wanted to go to toilet, and they had three or four prayers. So that meant that he could not even go over there.
And it was the other Sanatani people who were keeping quiet like shameless people. Nobody supported him when he was getting thrashed. And the
What they
ticket
should
of
do, see, Saffron, what they should do is immediately pull the chain. Even if the train has to stop, this has to stop. Because
right,
if they cannot use the toilet, which is everybody's right,
right,
and these people are doing
right.
this, then they have to be thrown out of the
They have
train.
to exactly,
So,
exactly.
Saffron, Nitish is asking you, correct dark web, please. Write this topic. So, this would have been shown live on dark web, is what I think. So, Saffron, could you just speak a little bit about this since you're in this field?
Uh, see, ma'am, there is obviously a possibility if he has videotaped all of these misdoings, right? Of cutting her body and then
Yeah,
storing it in the refrigerator. You will see that with the advent of internet, there is a lot of filth that these pedophiles or people of such wicked mentality have access to.
yeah.
And
You know
dark
why I'm
net is
saying
one.
this? Yeah, you know why I'm connecting, Saffron? It's because in Kerala also, they did the same thing, and the police were looking into the dark web also for
Okay.
that. Mm,
Okay, yeah. Coming back to what I was saying, I think
mm,
there is a possibility that this could have been used. Whether it is used or not, I don't know. But there is a
yeah,
high chance that, people like these, who show no emotion, who have no emotion, and they are just cutting bodies, storing them in refrigerator, meeting other women, and keeping their own
getting
food
highly
in the
paid for it in
exactly.
cryptocurrency, which is anonymous.
Exactly.
Mm,
So there is a possibility. Now,
mm,
whether it is done or not, that I don't know. But it should be investigated if there is any angle to this.
yeah, they are already, I think, looking into it. Because even in the the bomb blast which happened in Coimbatore and also in Bangalore, they are now looking at the darknet. How did they get all these things and all the information? Now, yeah. So he must have sold her organs. What he's saying is that he minced her organs and disposed them. That's also wrong. They use precision knives. So even in the Kerala case, they said the parts were cut with precision, and this is the second case where people have been cut into pieces. In Bangalore, also, the same incident happened where, a girl's boyfriend, who was a Hindu, was cut into pieces and thrown around. So there is an agenda, clear agenda here, you know. And if the police can't find this out, then they are fools, I would say.
Police can't find this out, or there are politicians who are putting them under pressure. Enough of this pressure word we have heard now.
Yeah.
Enough of this pressure now.
Mm,
Either don't do the job if you are so pressured, or do the job to your highest integrity now.
mm,
There's been like too much filth that we have sat through, which has been going on for a long time, but even we were kind of being fooled, and our eyes opened up quite late with SSR's murder. But now I think people need to come out clean, and if they cannot, then there has to be certain consequences. And that's where, I want to see that, whether this Aftab, this innocent Aftab, right, this one-off Aftab, will he get the death penalty or not?
yeah.
That is only to be seen.
Yeah. So when there was a in the conclave, Times Now conclave, when the anchor was speaking to Chief Minister Biswa, Himanta Biswa also mentioned that it is leaning towards love jihad, and you should see the way the anchor got angry. Anything pointing towards a religious war of this sort makes the seculars very upset, because I don't know whether you know it, Saffron, because you're sitting abroad. All these newspapers, many of them did not even mention the name.
His name, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so
I
there's
saw
an
that.
agenda there. They want to cover up the religion. Why?
Right.
Okay, which means let this continue. Let our Hindu girls die at any cost. Let them be killed and cut into pieces. That's all okay, as long as they are not girls from our religion.
Correct.
Is
Correct.
that the
And then
message?
there was also confusion about Shraddha's name. Some people were saying Shraddha Walker, some people were saying
Yeah.
Shraddha Madan. I don't know
Hmm.
what her real
Hmm.
name is,
Hmm.
but there was a lot of confusion due to the conflicting
Hmm.
news about her name coming out in media.
Yeah. Hmm. So Karthik is saying woke Hindus, traitor Hindus are the real danger in Sanatana Dharma, you know. So it's absolutely true. I mean, we don't stand for our own people. So Chandan says, thanks for all the updates, ma'am. I'm an SSRian. I feel Aftab being a drug peddler, there can be connection. Yes, definitely. See, and see what I found very eerie is that today, when he was doing the polygraph test, he was actually standing and instructing someone to do something. And the moment the camera came on him, he quickly kept quiet. Look at the self confidence of this man because he's being protected by a complete lobby who are paying for him, who are sponsoring him, who will give him sewing machines if he's freed, like Arvind Kejriwal gave the minor in the Nirbhaya case. So there's a whole group of people who are standing with this man. So it's a very scary situation, you know.
See,
So
the dangerous enemy of India is not across the border; it is within India. And just like we have said that, like these so-called Hindus, they are all like wolves in sheep's clothing,
mm,
just like in our SSR movement also.
yeah,
So this just gives us the perspective that this war is so serious and it contains such kind of elements. Those need to be exposed and fought with equal valor, if not more. And if you don't do that, then definitely your end result will be compromised. If we
yeah,
want to see justice, then fair and square investigations, coming out clean even when it comes to providing evidences. This chalta hai attitude and like why should I put myself into this is not going to work anymore if at all you want to see light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah. Now, moving on to another piece of news where Richa Chadda, as you would know, had insulted the Indian jawans. So now, boycott Mama Earth, which is a brand, is happening because netizens slammed the beauty company for allegedly backing Richa Chadda's Galwan tweet. Now, netizens were fuming over Richa Chadda's tweet when Indian company Mama Earth, in a tweet, which is now deleted, said the words Galwan says hi are not conclusive and it's about perspective. After boycott for Grade 3, netizens are slamming beauty product company Mama Earth for allegedly supporting Richa Chadda's Galwan tweet. So, the actress who recently tied the knot with Arif Fazal has come under fire over her comment on the Indian Army and Galwan clash. Richa received severe backlash after she allegedly mocked the Indian Army and the martyrs of the Galwan Valley incident. She tweeted, Galwan says hi. However, hours later, the actress pulled down the post and apologized for the same. Now you see how Urdu wood raises its voice. Every time something comes up, the way they raise their voice and mock our own army, you know. And then you have Canadian Kumar coming and saying that no, you should not speak like that. This is the man, this Deshrohi, who has been moving around with ISI businessmen in their cars. Can you believe even a word that he says?
uh, so Canadian Kumar was definitely there to take brownie points and give throughout a perception that like, hey, I am a patriot, right? So what if I have a Canadian passport? So what if I am seen shamelessly posing with Anil Musharraf and so many ISI frontmen? I feel that if at all, like one good thing that has come out of this is that Richa Chadda is baffled now.
Hmm.
She is completely taken aback, and now because Canadian Kumar has supported her, and Canadian Kumar is also getting a lot of backlash from the leftist
Yes,
lobby. It would be interesting to see if Canadian Kumar now decides, because these people are very egoistic, they can't hear anything negative about them. Does he will he go ahead and make sure that Richa Chadda's career gets destroyed? Because there are people we know about Salman Bhai doing the same to Vivek Oberoi
mm, mm,
and several others, right?
mm,
That has not been
mm,
that has not
mm,
been talked about. I am interested to see that how, like, sometimes you see that, like, coyotes, right? They are uh, jumping on a carcass in groups, and then they start fighting amongst themselves,
mm.
right? Because they are exposed, and now they are, like, it's all that selfish game that goes on and on. And now there is a I think there is some kind of war that has trickled because of this tweet, and Akshay Kumar tweeting on it, and then Akshay Kumar receiving huge backlash. I saw, oh my God, people are like, really jumped onto him, and that is karma for you. And
Yeah,
now I would want to see that, like, how Richard Chadda's career progresses from here.
yeah, absolutely. Now, see, Bollywood has been going through a very rough time as 2022 has been a good year in terms of box office collections. Apart from 4 to 5 movies, including the Kashmir Files, Bhool Bhulaiya, and some of the movies, this year's most of the films lost their charm due to the boycott Bollywood trend. Now, filmmaker Hansal Mehta has addressed the problem that he feels might affect the anti Bollywood sentiment in a media conversation. He is one of the few directors who's never shied away to talk about or be vocal about the country's politics or film industry politics. Now, in a recent conversation, he talked about the boycott Bollywood trend as well. So he said the kind of stuff that is written in social media, some of it even, otherwise with the endorsement of some of our own colleagues, it is disturbing. But I also do feel that a lot of it is also social media manufactured. It is disturbing to say the least. And he said, what is happening in the diversion is in this diversion, this madness, our fear is getting the better of us in being able to tell our stories the way we want to, in making the films the way we want to. It is a transitory phase. We will emerge out of it. It is a resilient industry. What is important is not to lose focus of our main job, which is to tell stories, whatever the counterpoint. Now, this is in brief, what he has said. There's a lot more that he has said. Now, these fools, I would just call them fools, okay? They do not even understand what is happening. They think it is all about content. They think it is about the way a movie is made. Everything started from Sushant Singh's door. You know, the day he was killed so brutally, it has been decided. The Bollywood's fate has been, decided from there. Everything that has happened, you know, is total destruction. Every movie that has come has become a flop. And on top of that, these huge bodybuilders like Salman Khan are living in fear of being killed.
Not only that, but they have also started investing their money in various other things. And
Yeah,
some intelligent people out of this cabal, like Sunil Shetty and all, they saw through this years ago, and they started investing into real estates and are now quite doing well. They are not dependent on film line anymore to generate businesses. They have bought lands, bought hotels, and doing far better than they ever could have imagined, right? So this influx of cash now in Bollywood, it's people are like, even the people who are involved in generating illegal proceeds, funds and siphoning funds, they are very scared of investing into Bollywood because सबसे पहली बात तो फिल्म में आप पैसे लूज करते हो, ऊपर से बॉलीवुड बॉयकॉट बॉलीवुड आ गया है, सेंटिमेंट, इट्स अ नेशनल सेंटिमेंट, राइट? नॉट मेनी पीपल are looking are going to the theaters to see their films, let alone watching it on OTT platforms. Also, the content itself is also very bakwas, right? So everything, there is uh, nothing, there's no one single right thing that they are doing, right? All they had to do was, like, even if they didn't mean it, all they had to do was to make sure that, like, they are putting Sanatan Dharma in good light, and at least not demeaning it, right?
yeah,
If you have a particular propensity towards a certain religion, fair, everybody has their viewpoint, but are you going to जिस थाली में खाते हो उसी थाली में तुम छेद करते हो, और एक नहीं हजार छेद करते हो? So the food is going to drop out of that,
mm,
and it is going to curse you. And that is exactly what we've been seeing is happening. Now these Bollywood folks have to join hands with Kannada directors and producers and Telugu, Tamil, Malayali producers and directors, and then they have to dub the movies. It's so much work for them, but still they are not able to generate the income they used to initially, right? Because
yeah,
वो पानी जो है वो सर के ऊपर काफी पहले जा चुका है, right?
yeah,
When on 13th June, when you murdered our beautiful SSR, at that time it was written that even you may not be able to provide justice through the legal means, but वो ऊपर जो है उसकी
mm,
जब मार पड़ती है तो आवाज नहीं आती है.
yeah.
But people come around, and that's what's happening now.
Yeah. So Karthik is saying many so-called SSRians are themselves saying boycott is for better content. Even they have forgotten their resolve. No, Karthik, I would not agree with you here because at heart, all of us know this whole thing started with Sushant's death, Disha's death, and this can never be forgotten. And whatever is happening is nemesis. It is his way of taking revenge on these people. Though he was such a good soul, he would have never wished that. But automatically, whatever has been given to him, he's giving them in double dose. So that will not happen, Karthik. It's still in people's
It was.
minds.
Karthik, I would like to add one point to what Meenaji has said. See, gone are those times when there was no internet, and gone are those times when common man like yourself, like myself, like Meenaji, we did not have a voice. Now the power dynamics has shifted in favor of the common man, right? Like, for example, just after pandemic, how employees now are in demand, and the companies are trying their best to retain good talent, because so they are even letting the employees work from home
Yeah,
365 days a year. Similar way, now all of these cabal funded uh, production houses, they are banking on the common man's mindset
mm,
to make money. And
mm,
now it is up to us how we identify their brainstorming sessions or their manipulation techniques, and how we continue to boycott these people and also spread the word. It is a difficult job, because at the end of it, it is an art, right? It is difficult to boycott art, not in the sense like we are boycotting, but in the sense like how our friends, like, I can be sure that there might be people in your relations or whom you know who are still watching Bollywood movies, or who are still watching that filthy content, and it is very hard to convince them that, like, hey, don't do this, you're funding money to the cabal, you are at least, there will be so many people who will disagree with you, but for even for the 10 or the 50 people who will disagree with you, if you are able to convince two or three, then they will pass on the word. And that's what this Sushant Singh movement has done. Otherwise, his murder would have been just forgotten, just like Divya Bharti's murder was forgotten, even Sri Devi's for that matter. Sri Devi, she did not uh, say a word against all these people in Cabal, and the Cabal killed her too, right?
absolutely.
Despite
Yeah,
her loyalty towards the Cabal. So
yeah,
that just goes to show how merciless and how pathetic this Cabal is today. That even her daughters, they are shamelessly part of the same film industry, not saying anything, doing the same thing, despite knowing that their mom was killed. I mean,
yeah,
it's height of shamelessness. No other
yes.
words for me.
See, what you said, Saffron, is so true because, see, gone is the time when you don't have people to remind you. Okay. Now, see, when the moment this Priyanka Chaturvedi said that, see, this was only an accident, many of us had stored the postmortem of Disha Salyan. Now I will dig my files and bring it out. What they have done is very cleverly, they have rubbed off one portion of it. And you can see it. And now I'll just try to dig out the original where it is written that, there, attack on the is seen in the private parts. So this is something that they have rubbed out. Now, gone is the time when people will not remind them of what has been done. Never at any point, will Ekta ever be able to say that there was no party at her house the day before Disha Salyan was killed. Why were the photos of that party not shown? Okay, because
Exactly.
even if she sneezes, her photos are all over Instagram. Okay, so why was it
Never.
not shown?
Exactly, and this does not hold true only for people like Ekta Kapoor, but this holds true for anybody who has done anything wrong and has not taken the accountability for it. Never again will Vibhor Anand be able to say that SSR is not alive because he has said it, like, continuously. Never again will Nilotpal Mrinal be not able to say that I am a true SSRian and I am in favor of justice because he has gotten himself promoted by Aditya Pancholi and his entire Bollywood company after 3 years after Jia Khan was murdered. So he knew very well that these people were perpetrators and he continued to get associated with them. So never again will Smita Parekh be able to say that there was no blood there because she has said it and she has propagated that theory of pool of blood.
And
Never
that you have
again will.
exposed. Yeah, you have
Exactly.
exposed that very well. Yeah. Now
Absolutely. Never
see,
again.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go
Divided
ahead, man.
streets
The
of
list is endless.
Yeah, yeah. Divided Streets of America is saying Kane West is also exposing, like Sushant Singh, the cabal wants to kill him too. So, which means this is something we should also look out for, this man's story, you know, and find out what's happening here. Neelam, thank you, Neelam, for your contribution. Very sweet of you. And Divided Street says, "We the people." So, which means we need to follow up on this case as well. What is happening, so that we can see if there is any, comparison here. Now, Rane family has to bring out the reality if he has any proof. This is what we are waiting for. Is it true that Ranbir, Alia named their baby Raha? I thought Rania would have been more obvious, like Queen. I don't think this was very important, isn't it, Newbie?
Yeah.
Yeah. SSR forever. Now, here, see, what I wanted to say, Saffron, is that, see, these people are so desperate now to whitewash the image of baby penguin. See, something is happening because they have a feeling that this is leading towards the truth coming out. Because last week, I don't know whether you know that a lady called Gauri Bide, has challenged Thakre's, okay, in a case where she says that they have laundered black money into white, by using their publications. See, when COVID was down, they brought out these magazines and that Samna, and they said they made a lot of profit on that, more than 11 crore profit. So she says, where did it come from when the whole printing press were all down during COVID? So where did that money come from? So she has challenged them. And she has also said that they have a lot of Benami property. Now she said the reason she's doing this is because she was, sort of influenced by Narendra Modi ji, because he said, "Na khayenge, na khane denge." Okay. So now she is saying she's made a PIL. She and her 75-year-old father have made a PIL against Uddhav Thackeray and his family. So I somehow feel that this is going to open a lot of doors, and that this is all leading, like an octopus, and going to lead finally to Sushant Singh's, justice.
Absolutely, ma'am. There is a lot that needs to be unearthed, and it is coming out with people like Gauri Bhideji and people like yourself who are talking about it. And justice, if through legal means is not obtained, there will be definitely justice is happening through the divine means. And we just need to make sure that we continue to voice for justice and eventually get where we want to be and see these perpetrators behind the bars. And until then, we have to keep fighting. This is going to be a very long battle. 2 years, more than 2 years already into it. Another set of good long stretch that we have to find and we have to fight. And I really expect that, like, BJP government will take this seriously. And before the next Lok Sabha election, there has to be some movement expected, some progressive movement, measurable movement expected in this case.
Yeah,
Otherwise, this case will there will be very slim hopes that justice can be served through legal means.
yeah. See, what I don't understand is the sisters have gone and written letters to the president, the Supreme Court, Chief Justice, but they have not approached the Maharashtra government as in Eknath Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis. Why? Because that should be your first point. From there you go up, isn't it? So this is something that has, making perplexing me. That they're not going the right way. Why aren't they doing that?
Yes, ma'am, there could be multiple reasons why it's not happening the way we intend it to happen. Maybe there has been some financial transactions exchanged, because you have to see that baby penguin had spent money like ocean
Yes.
to keep himself out of it. So in the end जब धंधे की बात आती है तो लोगों का मुंह पैसे से बंद हो जाता है unfortunately. So whether it is that reason, or is this it is really, most of it has also to do with the uh, evidence being compromised. But we have to understand one thing. Now there is no body, there is no, like, a lot of shoddy investigation had been done, even when you think from the post-mortem perspective. So this case is purely based on the circumstantial evidence, and when you start off something based on the circumstantial evidences, uh, although it may seem very solid to you, but is it solid enough beyond the reasonable doubt, considering that Shiv Sena government had played a pivotal role in compromising the evidences, right? So that is to be seen. But for that, the agencies need to come out and speak to us,
Yeah.
right? They need to go out in the press, and there has to be people like us continuously talking about it.
Yeah. Srijana says, why did Priyanka not come on your show? We've requested her, Srijana, a couple of times, but they have not come. Many people are scared to come on our channel because they're not sure about what kind of questions we might ask them. So, from here also, we will reassure the sisters that we're not going to ask you any strange questions. These are all only
Also,
the normal questions that you would ask because just like you cared for SSR, we also care for him and we wouldn't want to embarrass you. You know. So yes,
Srujana, I would like to add, because the sister gets informed by some other YouTubers not to go anywhere else because these people are attacking you and things like that. Whereas we makes no bones about this on this channel. We ask you questions. We are not here to please your egos. We will call right, right. We will call wrong, wrong. If we are making any mistakes here, we say sorry for that as well. So
and also very important message for all the viewers is that see, cruelty, of any sort, is always met with cruelty for you also. So it'll be, if you give something, you'll also get it in the same, and this is Kali Yuga. You're going to get it faster than you imagined. Like you remember, SSR's spine was broken. And what happened to Papa Penguin? Papa Penguin's spine had such a problem that when the Indian doctors, sort of operated on him, they messed up. Okay, then they had to call foreign doctors to treat him, and then after such a long time, he had to have a male nurse to even help him to walk. So can you imagine the kind of damage that they did to SSR? So this is all what you call Kaliyug, and it will pay back in the same coin. They think it is all, see luxury and going in Rolls Royces or Maybachs. It is not that. There's much more to it. The more you help people and spread good messages, it comes back to you. So I think with that, on that note, Saffron, we'll end this show. Thank you so much. I think I should have let you go earlier because your baby would have called out to you. So
yeah,
thank you so much.
she was already getting
Yeah,
distracted.
I
So
could
I'm
hear her
like,
voice.
yeah. But
Yeah,
thank you again, Meena ji, for accommodating, like, and facilitating this conversation. It's been after a while. Uh, let's try to schedule another session sometime soon,
absolutely.
considering
Yeah.
your
What
possibility
viewers,
and my
what we do is
availability.
Saffron is quite busy, and we try to get together when he gets some free time. And luckily, he was free today, so we came together again. So we'll try that again next week, Saffron.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, and
Yeah,
thank you to all our viewers. Keep fighting and keep
yeah.
rocking. Jai Hind.
Good night and Jai Hind.